Yeah.
Hang on, because I've completely. Oh, fuck me. Where are we? We're there. Right. Now, one thing I have forgotten to do. I've forgotten to do all this.
Yeah.
So just
As you
after.
do.
I have been running around like a fucking blue-eyed fly. Hang on. Right. So let's put that on. Let's put. Nobody's here yet, so that's all right. Let's put. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, fucking hell. I'm like really having one of those days. Is that it? That's it. And then we will also have, because I ain't finished yet. Hang on. Let's do
Intro.
that. Yeah, we're gonna do that as well. All right. Hang on. Fucking hell is it?
Evening, Irene.
Right, here we go.
And
What are you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, it would appear Mr. Wayne has an erection. I'm not quite sure of what's going on there, but stay tuned. Oh, there he is. It's one of the Dementors. Hiya, you're right.
good evening.
Oh, yeah. How's you?
Yeah, it's been a mad one.
Lost our sanity.
We've flipped it. We've lost it, and we're off to the
Did
funny
you
farm.
flip round and reverse it? A wiki, wow, wiki, wiki.
No, we're doing all right. We're getting over some colds and various ailments, and
well,
yeah.
What are we doing now? Oh yeah, we're on Instagram as well now. We're broadcasting on Instagram now as well. So
Oh, very nice.
yes, so that's what I was trying to sort out earlier. I was trying to figure out how to do it, but I've done it now. So and for those of you who are easily offended, A, we do swear in this. B, we do slam people who are frauds and fakes, and we call them out. C, we do a lot of research before we call anybody out and before we come out with facts. We actually do lots of research before we talk about anything. So what we're talking about is we know what we're on about because we've read it all and we've looked it up. It may not be true what we've read, but we're quoting what we've read. And also, we eat snacks. We drink tea and brews. And because it's like nearly 10 o'clock at night over here in the UK, we may occasionally eat our dinner as well. So for those of you who get offended of people eating, with the greatest of respect, fuck off. There are grown-ups only here on this channel. If you can't stand up with the big boys, don't cry and then run away from the chat room. Okay, thank you very much. Glad we got that out of the way.
Yes, basically to reiterate what Mark has just said, we all have busy lives. And some of us don't get home till the very last minute. And so having our dinner when we can leaves us no choice.
Yeah, and last week, somebody getting all bent out of shape because, hi, Rebecca.
I'm on jelly beans.
Hi, Jim, Bill, Willow, everybody. So, yeah, people getting bent out of shape because we're eating our dinner. It's like, well, I think when I was eating my dinner last week, it was 10:30, I think, something like that. So, you know, and it wasn't like I was going, I was going. So, all right, Jamie. So, anyway, I thought for once we'd talk about.
Can I say one thing first?
Yes.
I hope I'm not bothered whether the people like royal family or not, but I'm going to say it. I hope King Charles gets well soon and healing thoughts going his way.
Yeah, I'm not a royal.
In there?
I don't wish cancer on anybody. As having had it myself 8 times, I don't wish it on anybody.
No.
So I'm just going to strip off.
So I just hope he has a speedy recovery.
Oh, sweaty. Oh, sweat. No, I won't strip off. I will leave that on.
You've been breastfeeding again, haven't you?
Ghost, have I been breastfeeding? Come and see your adoring fans. Come here. Come here. Bit quicker than that. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Hello. Get off the snacks. Hello.
Oh, thirsty.
You can say hello. You can say hello. This, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, is the Ghost. She hasn't been on for a little while, and I've had a few messages asking how she is. And
Got to play the sexy music. Bow, chicken, wow, wow.
Yeah, and then I saw my sweaty bobs, and I was like, no. Right. Okay. Yes, you're done. You're done. So, yeah, you okay? You said hello to everybody? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I thought we talk about old videos and stuff, because I saw an interesting video today that I sent to Wayne, and it was an old UFO encounter from 1994, wasn't it, in Uruguay? Before the days of just in the days of digital cameras, I think 1994, but like the really shit ones. And it was a very good video. It was filmed on a normal video camera with videotape. Oh, is he back again? He's back again. And we were looking at that, and it was nice to see. You could see it going past some buildings and the aerials and things on top of the buildings going past it and stuff. And apparently it's never been debunked. So I was looking at that, and I sent him another one, but we've just not had time to look at it all. So we will talk about our normal stuff, which is probably going to be, hey up, what's everybody doing? What do you think of dogmen? Now then, you reckon Yorkshire dogmen, when they woof, they go, or bark, they like have accents, because all like, hey up, how's it doing? Oh,
I'm sure somewhere along the line there I had seen something where somebody had claimed that animals, particular dogs and cats, had an accent depending on where they were.
That's right. Yeah, they do. Apparently, it's different countries as well. When the animals can understand each other, which is a universal language. Because if you read again, this goes back to the Dead Sea Scrolls and everything. And if you look at the teachings of the Emerald Scrolls, we used to have a universal language. And it was when the Anunnaki split and had their war, they went, well, fuck this. These guys ain't going to be able to communicate with each other. They can have different languages. But apparently, we used to be able to speak the same language all around the world. But dogs and cats and all sorts of animals understand each other. An English bark. Yeah, Ghost goes, woof. Woof.
I think it's more like a Dorset bark with a Newcastle bark.
Well, she's from Leeds. She's from Hull, so she's got a Hull accent. So she goes. If she could say no, she go no.
No.
Woof, woof. Don't you? My little fluffs there. Two of the cats are from London, so they're like, "All right, mate, fucking hell, meow," you know. So, and one of the other cats, Yoda, he's from Goole, so he goes, "Meow, help." So yeah. Animals have sense a lot more than humans do. Did you know that when cats swear and hiss, and big cats as well, and they growl and all that shit, they you've got the sound that we hear, the roar and everything, but they give out infrasound as well, and that infrasound does it affects your emotions, and it affects your involuntary bowel releases and wee releases. So yeah, even down to the littlest kitty cats, they do it, and it literally scares the shit out of animals. So, and doggos do. Well, the bigger doggos and wolves. Wolves, don't you? Wolves, because you're a white wolf. You're a filthy white wolf. So, and for those of you who've been keeping an eye on how she went down to a skeleton when she was poisoned and everything, and then got really ill, she's actually putting weight on. We weighed her the other day. She's put, Christ, I think she's put 4 kilos on, or nearly 5 kilos. So she's doing really well. And she's eating like 3-4 bowls of food a day now, and she was down to eating 1 and a bit. So she's eating 3 or 4 bowls of food now, and she's doing really well, aren't you? Even though you're pain in the ass and trying to scavenge everything. But yeah, anyway, old UFO videos. Nice pooch. Yeah, that's Ghost. That's Ghost. She's a Swiss Shepherd. She's a Swiss Shepherd. So anyway, and Ghost is famous here on the show. And we have a cat here who's been known on this show since he was that big as well. And he was floating about somewhere. What have I got behind me? No, that's the cat under the bed. I can hear him. He's into something. Anyway, so as you can see, this show is about I can't do it. Aliens and aliens. So, and we normally talk for those of you who are new. There's some new people in there. Yeah, aliens. We talk about aliens, conspiracy theories, cryptozoology, ufology, all that stuff. So yeah, and we call out the fakes, we call out the lies. We do talk about paranormal as well because that comes under the umbrella. But we do like calling out the fakes and the lies, like paranormal and things like that. Sorry, sore throat. Anyway,
don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, no idea. Do you know all these people that? Yeah. I'm just going to open my bag of Cola cubes. You like the way I did that, huh? I can see your nipples poking out for your top.
I'm opening my Jelly Belly jelly beans.
Yeah, and I'm going to have a Cola cube. Look at that. So for those of you who get offended by people eating.
Oh, chocolate pudding.
Oh, dear. So, chocolate pudding. Oh, have you got the jelly beans?
They're the gourmet jelly beans. Jelly Belly jelly beans from California.
Gourmet jelly beans. Yes, I like them. I do. And
they have the fiery cinnamon flavour, which is my favourite. And they're like £15 for a bag.
Where'd you get them from? Don't say California.
The ones I get from Amazon.
Okay.
I used to be able to get a big 2.5 kilo drum for about £17, but you can't get them anymore. Now they have to come in specifically, and they're about £22 for a kilo.
Fucking hell.
So, but I treat myself every now and then with some of the games that I play. I get paid for playing, so I transfer them into Amazon vouchers, and I buy my jelly beans.
That's what Rachel does. She does stuff, and we get like Tesco's vouchers to help towards shopping and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is good. You guys in the chat, what's been going on? What's been occurring in your part of the world? Have you seen anything in the skies that we need to know about? Because you've actually been really quiet this week. I've not had any reports come in. Nobody's asked me to look at any UFOs or anything. So are you feeling okay? And remember, next week we're doing a live UFO watch. UFO? No, we're not. We're doing a live ghost hunt on the 10th. It'll be on here live, but it's going to be late UK time. It'll be like midnight onwards UK time, which will be about is that 8-9 o'clock US time?
It's been usually about 6 hours behind.
What Eastern Standard Time? That's it.
Or Central, one of the two.
I don't know. They have all these different time zones. It's like the UK. Did you know if you start at the tip of Cornwall? Imagine a map of the UK, and it's like that, and you put a line like that from the tip of Cornwall, and you go up. Sort of, I think it's every 50 miles in increments like that. we used to have we used to have our own time zones. It was only like a minute, but it was like a minute or 5 minutes each one of them, and they stopped it in the 17th, 18th century. 6 p.m. your time, so midnight here will be 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So 9 p.m. UK time is 3 p.m. some places in the States. I'm doing Nick Millay time. Okay, so yeah, cool. Yeah, back to what I was saying. Old UFO footage. Well, nice. To me, it's not old, and to Wayne, it's not old. 1994 is not that old. You know, that was back in the rave scene. I was a raver back in the day, so I used to go to the warehouse rave. Yeah, I was like, proper. Don't remember a lot of it, but hey, we all have a past.
Big fish, little
anyway,
fish.
That would explain so much as well. Yeah. Videos and stuff back then. Do you remember? I don't know. Those of you who have been with us from nearly the start, we've always said about the South American videos and sightings have been the ones that have been predominant throughout the whole of it, and it's them that have gradually been taking the daylight ones. Remember us saying about it, taking the daylight clear pictures and videos, and then the rest of the world was going, no, it can't be this, can't be that, and then the rest of the world's gone, no, actually it is, and they've started doing it as well. Well, one of the videos we saw was the one that I sent Wayne. It was from 1994. Did I post it up on the Dark Mirrors wall? I did, didn't I?
I'm not sure. I don't think you did.
Do just bear with me whilst I have a quick look.
The Perrows.
There's me. There's that. There's that. There's that. Flip me. No, it's not on there. Right, what I'll do is I will just put that link up onto the Dark Mirror Show's wall now. And then you have a look, you guys, and see what you think. Right, so let's... Oh, God, how do I do this? How do I send it from Messenger? I know how I can do it. I can just open it on here. Technical me. Technical. Share. Copy link. Go back to Facebook. At some point, wherever it is. Here we go. Right, go to the top of there. Right, excuse the dog barking in the background.
I think you can put it into the comments here.
Mate, I've only just figured out how to put Instagram on there.
Right, there you go.
Let me see if I can.
I've done it.
Oh, you've done it. Have you? Oh, there you are. That link down in the chat. Click on it. Have a look at it.
That's the original video. And this is the article, or actually the actual report. And this one's the actual report of the incident. We did look at both, and there seems to be a slight issue, because in the actual report, it states 2 egg-shaped objects, but in the actual video, you can only see 1 saucer-shaped object. So there is a slight difference, but we don't know whether he'd actually seen both of them at the same time before he got the camera and only managed to catch the second one on camera.
I was having a look in the research for it, and I can't find any other write-ups for 1994 Uruguay.
No, that would have been the one. So I reckon what he's done there is he's managed to get the camera just as the second one's coming into shot.
You guys, whilst we're wittering away, have a quick look at that video that's in there and see what you think. I know I can put videos in here, and so that you can see it whilst we're talking, but I have no idea.
You'll have to have a chat with Nick.
Or have I got to do this and then I see, I've got to download it and then I can put it up here. So yeah,
but it's quite compelling, really, because it's, as we said, because it's 1994. It's pre-digital,
and it's pre-AI, which is the best thing.
Anything that's pre-digital is very difficult to fake. And anything that they do fake, it's blatantly obvious. It is so obvious that it stands out like a sore thumb. So
yeah,
you know, it
sounds like a sore.
So it's difficult to fake. Let's put it that way. And as me and Mark were talking about it earlier on, we actually state the fact that this object flies behind aerials and behind cables, and there's no pixelage or anything, so you can tell it's not digital. And you can see the aerials passing in front of the object as it goes past. So that is pretty good evidence. And we're speaking about old videos. I've been watching a series on Amazon. I can't remember the name of it now, but it was about alien confrontation, UFO sightings, and it was in respect to the Men in Black. Who are the Men in Black? I think was what it was called, and it was basically tracing back from Project Bluebeam right the way through to when it stopped, and then ATIP comes along and everything else, and they're asking who are the Men in Black, but they were actually putting the Men in Black in the context alongside these paranormal and UFO sightings. So the likes of the Roswell incident, the Men in Black appeared there. And they were disguised as the blokes from Project Bluebeam. Hence why it started as a UFO or a flying saucer, which was the first time the penned term flying saucer was actually used. So you'd got that. Then it got turned into a weather balloon. Then it got turned into a new type of weather surveillance system. So it got changed twice from the original story to what it was then. Then you'd got other incidences like the Roswell incident, which is now supposedly as famous, the Rendlesham Forest incident, sorry, which is now supposedly as famous as the Roswell incident.
And they're gradually coming out the woodwork now and saying, actually, it was.
There are a lot of things that are coming out now, including the fact that the CIA and the Men in Black were involved with that as well. And as Mark knows, we've been to Rendlesham Forest. We've experienced things, and I found out.
And we were watched.
I found out something this afternoon that shocked me quite a bit. And I wanted to tell you then, but I thought, no, it'll wait until tonight.
You do know it's meant to stand up like that. It's not meant to be that hairy, but it's meant to stand up.
When we were in Rendlesham Forest, we saw 5 separate white lights.
Yep.
Followed by the 6th object that was stopped right above us.
Yeah.
On this show that I was watching earlier on, it described how this object was floating about in amongst the trees. Then 5 white objects came out from this main object, and the main object went, see you later. Now, you're bearing in mind, this is back in the late 80s.
It was 1982, wasn't it? Or was it 1980?
84 or 86, it was one of the two. But they were describing 5 white objects had come down and dispersed beneath this main object. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh my God, when we were over there in September 22, we witnessed these 5 white objects buzzing around all around the forest. And then when they buggered off, there was just this big black triangle right above us, which you got a photo of. And then that shot off, followed by two Air Force jets from Lakenheath, screamed after it. And I'm thinking, how have we got almost 4 years apart, 40 years apart from each other, and we've just witnessed the same thing that happened near enough as what happened then.
That's bizarre, isn't it?
And the fact that we were being watched by the MOD at the same time. They were watching us because we witnessed them coming down to the gate to see what we were up to.
Yeah. I'm going to find that picture and I'll put it back up on the Dark Mirrors wall again, because I've put it on there loads of times. But let me find that picture. So 5 objects, yeah?
Yeah, 5 white objects. Well, we'd seen the 2 come from west to east. We'd seen the one going from south in the eastern horizon. We saw one going from south to north in that wavy type fashion. And then we had one either side of the clearing in the trees, didn't we? So that was the 5 white objects. But apparently that was the 5 white objects that came out of the main ship back in 84.
So I wonder if it's sending out probes, something like that.
This is what I was wondering. If I can find it, it was something to do with the men. Who are the Men in Black? I'm sure it was that one. It might have been one of the other shows I was watching. But it was pretty shocking, really, when I saw that. Who saw the Men in Black? It was a film that came out last year. It was 73 minutes long on Amazon Prime.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just going to see if I can put that picture in here. Will it let me do it? Will it let me do it? Let's have a looky. Pictures. Not because you're not going to, because you're going to be an absolute twatter, aren't you? Let's have a look. No, you're
I've
not
just,
going to let me.
I've just noticed on here we got that Stars logos come up.
Where?
On the bottom of the screen on my phone, it's got send stars.
Is it?
Yeah. And then at the top on our screen, it's got the top star senders. I don't know.
God knows. Yeah, if you go onto the Dark Mirrors wall now, I've just put that. That's all right, Sarah. Don't worry. I've just put that picture of the black triangle that was above us at Rendlesham Forest on the wall. That picture, it's not been enhanced. It's not an AI picture. This was taken by myself when it was myself, Wayne, and there was about 7 or 8 other people there.
Yeah, I think there was 8 of us in total. 3 of them were back at the car park picking up some floodlights.
That's right. And everybody else, when we went, oh my God, look at that. You and I started taking photos, and then all the others were trying to take photos with their big expensive stuff, and they couldn't see it, could they?
No. Couldn't see it with the
later,
cameras. They could see it physically, right, but they couldn't see it with the cameras.
And then later on in the evening, wasn't it? The one that, because we never even heard that turn up or go.
No.
Whilst that was there, another one turned up on the other side, didn't it? On the clearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have a look on the wall, Dark Mirrors wall.
It was a very strange situation. And then to actually watch that program and for it to come out with stuff like that. And I'm just sitting there and I'm going, seriously? That I'd never heard of before. I'd heard so many different things about Rendlesham Forest and what happened there. But when it came to numbers about how many of these white objects came out of this big object, you know, and things like, I mean, it was a while ago now, but I'd heard the basics about Rendlesham Forest before I found out there'd actually been buzzing bentwaters and floating over the nuclear silos. You know, so the information comes out and it's slowly becoming more and more predominant now, that obviously, like we've been saying, because of social media being out there so much now, that it's getting harder and harder to stop that information from being leaked. And this is why all these programs are turning up now, because the subject matter can't be hidden anymore.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a bit daft lately. It really has. It seems to go like that, doesn't it? Yes, there is. No, there isn't. Yes, there is. No, there isn't. Yes, there is. Yeah. No, there isn't. And then when it comes out the irrefutable stuff, they will spend every last dime that they've got to spread disinformation and ridicule the person who come out with irrefutable proof, which is what they're doing at the moment.
I mean, the one I'm watching at the moment is called Secret Space UFOs, Apollo 1 to 11. And that's coming out with some pretty weird stuff, like how NASA purposely filed 11 photos under one product number as such, or batch number. And normally it's one photo gets one number.
Yeah.
So you'd get AM 23, 24, 25, 26, and they'd all be individual photos. And apparently on one mission, there was 11 photos taken, and they all ended up under one batch number. And the very first picture was just black.
And that's the one that everybody can see.
So everybody skipped past it, because when you go onto the files, all you see is that first picture, which is just black. And those 11 pictures were taken in the void between Earth and the moon. Right. So this very first picture is pure black. There's nothing on there. And so because everybody sees it, that they put it under one photo under one batch number, the next one's black. So we skip that because there's nothing on it, go on to the next one. But what they didn't realise is that underneath that one photo, there was 10 others. And in them 10 photos, there is objects being seen by the camera. It's taken at 1 frame per second. So it was on a slow-mo camera job. And there's 10 other photos under that one that actually shows these objects in that void between Earth and the moon.
Well, it's like Buzz Aldrin coming out. Was it Buzz? Yeah, it was Buzz Aldrin, wasn't it? Coming out and saying that they were all told on pain of death that if you talk about anything you've seen, you will be killed, your family will be killed, and your grandchildren will be killed. And then
that was what basically what the Men in Black were supposed to be doing, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like the famous Niagara incident.
Was that the hotel?
Yeah, where the guy had witnessed something and he made it public knowledge, and then the following day he phoned in sick, and the 2 Men in Black turned up at the hotel, wanting to know where he was.
The ones who they think were clones or a hybrid.
Yeah.
They had
because they both
hair.
looked identical. They had pale skin, no hair.
No hair.
Both wearing the same outfits.
Yeah.
Hardly any emotion. Seriously weird stuff.
Bit like living in Yorkshire then. What do you reckon to Men in Black? Do you reckon I reckon they're definitely real. I reckon they're the go-to guys. They're the wet work guys. But humans, aliens, crossbreeds, what?
I think they are.
Or are they from Grimsby?
I think they're connected to the beings that are here with us. I think they're quite possibly a fail-safe when the likes of Project Bluebeam and ATIP were around, because obviously I personally don't think Project Blue Book ever stopped. They may have said officially that Blue Book had stopped. They just went underground with it, and then eventually ATIP come forward when disclosure was announced. They went, right, we might as well just come out with it. ATIP gets formed, and then they spend all these years trying to work out how they're going to bring out disclosure. But in the meantime, ATIP's now here, so that sort of tries to calm the masses as such until disclosure can be revealed. And I think the Men in Black were the next step up from Project Blue Book. I think if Project Blue Book fails, then Men in Black get involved. And I think the Men in Black, okay, yes, they're guys in black suits, but I think they are non-terrestrial.
What about the ones on the railway station that were following that dude?
Again, quite possibly the same people. You know, they've got to have a fail-safe. You know, I think if human intervention can't resolve the matter, then what would, if there isn't anything higher? You know, it makes it difficult. And if you can't resolve a matter, you've got to go somewhere. You've got to go to someone that can resolve it. And if like the likes of the CIA, the FBI, or whatever can't resolve an instance like that, then who is going to resolve it?
See, the thing that gets me is all the whistleblowers from the 90s, because we were talking about the 90s and videos. All the whistleblowers from the 90s that came out with their cine cameras and their video cameras and that footage, the ones that really came out and went, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened, they were offed. We all know they were offed. They had accidents. Hello. They had accidents. So you have to look. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, fuck! It's Darth Goofy. Hang on. With a wonky saber. And Donald Duck is a stormtrooper, and Mickey here is Obi-Wan. There you go. Anyway, with a very wonky lightsaber. Look at that. And Ellen, you're looking well. What the hell was I talking about? I've gone.
MIBs.
Yeah. I personally think the MIBs were, you know, when it was Project Blue Book, and it took over. When Project Blue Book went to their commanding officers and they were told, you'll shut the fuck up about this, we will deal with this. When they said, we will deal with this, that's what they were sending out. And I think MIBs, I think originally started as, they may have been a joint, what's the other one? A joint action with people from here and people from there.
Yeah.
But I think that possibly as it's gone down, and we all know they've been experimenting and stuff with hybrids and things. I think possibly now a lot of them are hybrids. This is all conjecture and hearsay, but I don't see why not. We all know that.
I mean, like I say, if all else fails, what are you going to do? And apparently it happened in the Travis Walton case. The friends were threatened. After they'd given their statements to the police, and Travis Walton turned up and explained what had happened, and then the polygraph tests were all done. After the polygraph tests were all done, and they were told, no, you're not lying, apart from the odd one that was a bit inconclusive. They were then told they had to keep quiet.
That's right.
And if I remember rightly, it wasn't by the police or the media. It was some shadowy guys turned up and threatened them and said, you keep quiet or you're all history.
Look at all these deathbed confessions that are coming out now.
Yeah. And it's the same thing again. It's all because they're being told that if you spread the word, then your life will be at risk. Well, I'm sorry, but if my life was at risk, I'd open up with what I know. So neither here or there, really. They're going to, if they're about to die anyway, they're just going to spill the beans, aren't they? But it's more the worry for the family. But again, this day and age, we've got a bit more security in social media.
That's the only thing, because you can, all you got to do is press send, and that clip, that photo, that document can go out to thousands of people in a second, less than. So,
well, as we said it before, didn't we? You put one video on somewhere like TikTok, for instance, I've done it with my own little funny little videos that I do on TikTok, that within an hour...
I've seen some of your videos, and some of them I look at and go, is that my best mate, Wayne? What? Are you feeling all right, dude? There was one of them, and you were farting or something in it?
That was going to the toilet. The Sultan going to the toilet.
That's right. That's a good game. Bloody hell, that's good, mister. And I'm just like, as you can tell, we're not PC on this show. So.
But I did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
You did it.
Someone turned around to me and went, "Is that blackface?" I'm like, I ain't going down that road. Deleted the video. You're not going to start doing that. It's just a bit of harmless fun. Don't you start accusing me of stuff like that, because that ain't going to happen. So I deleted it.
You're probably safest. The world's gone crazy. Look at how things were 30 years ago.
Yeah.
We've spoken about this on the show before. One of my best mates, he's a huge black guy, and he looks like Ving Rhames. And we take the piss out of each other all the time. He's like, "You still Irish? Yep. You still black? Well, it hasn't come off yet, mate." And it's just banter. It's just, it's not a racist thing. It's what friends do,
Yeah. So, I mean, I just do on TikTok, I just do little skits. But, doing these funny little videos, it's like with me books. I don't expect to go nowhere with them. But, if I get the views and the likes and in the end I get the following from it just by doing them videos, then fine. I'm up to 450 followers. I'm happy with that. It's a slowly increasing, but it's just from videos that I've just been sharing that are only 15 to 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's just a bit of harmless fun.
Yeah, exactly. And people just take it too seriously. I think that's a lot of the thing. We're almost there with the disclosure now. We've got governments coming out and saying, well, actually, yes, it is real. It has happened. And then we've come forward with that, but then we've gone backwards with these people with their pronouns and overprivileged. Sorry, I don't like that. And Sam fucking Smith. I'll just leave that there. Knob. Absolutely. When he first came out, and I don't mean as gay, when he first came out with his songs, I thought, oh, he's not too bad. And then I saw what he's like now since the fame's gone to his head and the Illuminati or whatever the hell have got hold of him. And I just thought, If you're going to turn around and speak about yourself in the third person, don't bother talking to me. No. Sorry.
Yeah, there's so many arguments going on now about what they identify as, and I'm just like, look, I couldn't give a shit. I'm a human being. That's it. At the end of the day,
if you are nice,
I'm just not interested in it all.
That's the bollocks, isn't it? Anybody in the chat?
Because I think
Sorry,
we've got more important things to worry about than who's getting what drugs or medicines for this, and who's getting gender reassignment, and what we should call this person and what we should call that person. I think, you need to wake up and smell the roses, because we got bigger issues coming our way, and arguing the toss about all that shit, it's not going to resolve any other problems that are coming.
We're being pre-warned about World War III. Stuff that I'm being trained up for at the moment. I've been speaking to some of the instructors, because there's been lots of extra stuff in it. I was talking to you about it, wasn't I? There's been lots of extra stuff in it that shouldn't be in the training, and when I asked about it, they were like, So, yeah. If you're really going to worry that you're going to grow up to be a teapot or a carrot or something, then that comes down to mental health. Sorry.
Yeah, I think if people are going to be sort of spending more time worrying about what they are or what they identify as, I think they should be more worrying about whether they're going to be around in the next year or so.
So do I. Hang on, I've just realised something.
Oh, you stopped breastfeeding?
Look at his logo. Yeah,
but it's true. A year down the line, you never know. That these people that keep saying about what they identify as the hypocrites, Just Stop Oil, that have been standing in the middle of the road wearing, oddly enough, crude oil made jackets and rubber-soled shoes and plastic shoes and stuff like that. In a year's time, they're going to be worrying about other things, not all of that stuff.
Greta Thunberg. I rest my case.
Biggest hypocrite going.
You know what I mean? You got all these so-called social elite, and we do occasionally talk about Illuminati and the shit that they get up to, and adrenochrome and how it's got, and all disgusting things like that. And then you look at the likes of, like I say, of Sam Smith, and then you just think, what the actual fuck are you doing, mate? Go and have a look in the mirror and have a word with yourself, And then I saw Miley Cyrus at some awards ceremony in a dress that was made out of gold safety pins, and her hair looked like Jennifer Powers from Heart to Heart, and I'm like,
she's just doing a Lady Gaga. She's doing a Lady Gaga.
Well, then it's supposed to be her, Sam Smith, Lady Gaga, and there was a couple of others who've gone to the dark side, isn't it? Yeah. All I want is the lottery numbers for this week for the Euro. That's all I want.
Is that a rollover?
Well, I would do, but if I rolled over on the bed, I'd probably fall off the other side because the dog's in the way.
No, it was. I think on Friday it was something like 167 million, wasn't it?
That one, I'm sure one of them got one, because I do the Euro each week. I'm sure it got one, and there was I think I won £4 or something like that. Anyway, back to the UFOs. I seriously do think, because I'm thinking of doing a few UFO watches at some point when I can, but I'm thinking of getting a Polaroid camera or a film camera, because these days anything digital, people scream fake, Photoshop, this, that, and the other. And it doesn't matter what you do, even if it's just a complete and you took it, somebody will call out fake and scream it. So if you take it with a normal camera,
I mean, the thing is, the only way you're going to get around that is if you're doing live video and somebody else sees it. That's the only way digital photography in any shape or form is actually going to be credential is by having a live feed running and there's people watching the live feed, and they go, "Oh my god, I've just seen something go across the screen."
Yeah.
It's the only way you're going to do it, because otherwise, because you can fake it otherwise, like you say. But then, who's to say that if you get a Polaroid camera, take the photo, and then go, "Look what I found on this photo," I bet you someone will still say it's been faked. They'll still say it.
Will.
Yeah.
You can have a UFO land in your back garden, take a photo, and as soon as the Bobblemen get wind of it, you'll have somebody crop up and go, "Oh no, that's been fake. Look at it, you can see it." It's like AI now. AI in some cases is really good, but for people like us, it's bad because it's shite, and it makes us all look like knobs. Anybody in the whole of the paranormal umbrella, it makes you look like a knob because you'll get people coming out. I saw this.
There was one of the photos on this Apollo 1 to 11 documentary. It showed you a picture of the moon, the top of the moon, and it was the light side of the moon. But you could see off behind it. Yet when they enhanced the light on it, you could see these series of lines. But these series of lines weren't just going in any directions. They were actually joining at right angles above the section of the moon, which would technically have been on the dark side. Yeah. And the guy turned around and he said, the thing is, he said, everybody has said, that's rubbish, that's been added to it. He said, but the problem is this negative, if this was something like the only way you would have done that to a negative is by scratching the negative itself. If that's the case, why is the lines actually perpendicular with the moon? It suits to the dimensions of the moon. All the lines are in the right place. They're curved like the same degree as the moon. So they couldn't have been, if they have been altered by scratching the negative, then somebody has spent a lot of time and a lot of effort and knowledge into making those in the right place to actually make it look right. And they reckon that's where the Shard building is on the dark side of the moon.
Well, I was reading something, when was it? I think it was a couple of days ago. Love you. And then there's more and more evidence coming out of buildings and stuff on the dark side. And all the I think it was the Apollo astronauts who've gone up there. They've all said, there's buildings on the dark side of the moon. And one of the things that's what I was going to talk about before. One of the things that's got me recently was that bloody astronaut whose name I've instantly forgotten. Famous. Landed on the moon. First ones that landed on the moon.
Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong.
That's it. Buzz Aldrin. Hello, Mrs. Ellen.
Hi.
And no, I'm not, but I wish I was. And did you see his post that he deleted? He put a post up with a picture of that pyramid that's in Antarctica, and he went. It was something like "The devil resides here. Pure evil is here." And then it's like, what? And then he deleted it.
I think he's very much like Mr. B.
Did you say like Mr. Bean?
Mr. B, Mr. Sleepy Joe.
Oh, right.
I think because he's tuned, what he says chops and changes all the time. And I think he's being told what to say and when to say it.
So
because one minute he's being honest, and he's saying, "Oh yeah, well we did this, we did that. There was this there, there was that there. Something we saw we can't explain." And then all of a sudden his tune changed, and it was, "Oh no, we didn't even go to the moon." And then it'll change again. I personally think we did go to the moon.
I think,
but the video footage I don't think was ours. I think that was done back here after they returned.
Well, there's all that about Stanley Kubrick, isn't there?
Yeah.
And there are a lot of anomalies in that main photo that don't make any sense.
Well, there is, like who was filming the lunar lander taking off back to the command module. if everybody's on board that lunar lander, who was recording?
Was it a remote camera?
Who was recording it? Someone had to have stayed behind to record it and get that video footage back to the command center to come back to Earth.
Wasn't one of the pictures, if you look carefully, you could see the edge of a spotlight or something.
There was that,
And
and then there was the lines as well. When they edited the photos, they missed a couple of lines, and the lines go behind the astronaut rather than in front of it. Because the black crosshairs and the black lines in the corners, they're supposed to be on the lens of the camera. Right. So whatever picture they take, the black lines will be at the front of every picture. Yeah. And yet on one picture, you see the black line goes behind the astronaut's head. And they're like, hang on a minute, that ain't right.
Okay.
So I think there was a lot of things there that have got some truth there. It just seems to me that I think, yes, they went and they've been back, but all the film footage that we've seen of the lunar landings have all been done back here for our satisfaction.
Yeah.
We don't know fully what happened on the moon. We don't know what they found on there. And I think a lot of it's been sort of hushed up a little bit.
Yeah.
They've been told what to say, as we've seen with Buzz Aldrin.
He belted somebody who said you never went to the moon, or the aliens weren't real, or talk about aliens, wasn't it? He got up and twatted someone.
Threatened him, yeah, he did threaten him. Joe ran to him and he said, if you continue with this, you'll have problems. And I think that was probably him trying to safeguard this guy, because this guy was quite knowledgeable in what he was coming at, what the accusations he was coming out with. And I think Buzz was just trying to warn him that the powers that be are watching, and you might want to keep your gob shut like I've had to, or you could be in trouble.
I mean, I suppose there's one handy thing in the fact now that it's all so mainstream now. We can openly talk about this shit, and we're not troublemakers or anything like that. We're just talking about what's going on at the moment and what could be happening and what.
Yeah, I think the only way we would be under any threat is if we started hacking into NASA security files and things like that.
No,
but it's it's one of those things, isn't it? The rumors have been out there for donkey's years, whether we landed on the moon, whether there's something on the other side of the moon, and it's all theories and possibilities. And we all said, well, is there life on Mars? And you've got H.G. Wells coming out with War of the Worlds saying that there was life on Mars and they've come to Earth to attack and all this rubbish. And everybody then speculated, what is there life on Mars, or was there life on Mars? And it was just a theory up until the point when rock samples came back from Mars that had fossilized microscopic remains in it. So we now know fact that there was something alive and living on Mars at one time.
Look at the remote viewing document I
experiments.
Yeah, they were talking about Mars. I think it was 1 million years ago or something, and it was dying. The atmosphere was going off, but they went off to look for another planet to live on.
Well, we know for a fact that if there's water, you don't need to say anything else. If there's water, oxygen and hydrogen, and it's quite possible that you've got, you've got life. Yeah. It was just the fact that the atmosphere was inhospitable, and it's just stupid to think that we know there's water on Mars. We even know there's water. We even know there's water on the moon.
That's right.
So and again, you go back 100 years, and no one would have said that. No one would have said there was water on the moon. No one would have said there was life on Mars. It would have been, could there be life on Mars? Could there be life on the moon?
Well, it's like, do you remember the original drawings that were done by, I can't remember which astronomer it was, but the original drawings that were done of what the guy saw through his telescope of Mars, and he put canals in there because he thought there were canals and stuff. And it wasn't.
Yep.
It was his veins from the back of his eye being reflected onto the lens, and that's what he was looking at. And he was putting in the veins from the back of his eye on the picture. But yeah, going back to that remote viewing that the CIA did, they talked about, I can't remember if it was 1 million or 1.5 million years ago, but there was life on Mars. Highly advanced to us. In fact, they probably look like me, bald with long arms. Well, long arm. They screwed up. They had a war. They fucked their atmosphere, and they went off looking for another planet to be capable of sustaining them. They think some came here and some went to another one. So, but that would explain us, and then that would explain the indigenous species that the Anunnaki took and altered with their own DNA. So that explains a hell of a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, and what year is it? Something big is supposed to happen with UFOs. Is this year or next year?
But I was always hearing 24. So that's this year.
Hopefully. You're right, mate. You look knackered.
No, it's just my screens are flashing like crazy. I'm just getting stuff coming up left, right, and centre.
Well, you can go back to Pornhub in a minute. Oh, Hermione, would you like to hold my wand?
No, it's okay. I've got my own.
Those of you who don't know, Wayne's got these lights off the TikTok shop. I think how much are they for 20?
£10.
£10. And you hang them with fishing thread, and they're the candles from Harry Potter, and you turn them on with the wand and turn them off with the wand. They're really cool. I like them.
And I only got them for my kids. Hang on.
You only got them for your kids. Yeah, they're cool. I like them.
Oh.
So yeah. Oh, hi, Sarah. Little late. We're going to finish in a second. I'm going to see if I can find some more older UFO footage, but pre-AI and Photoshop, and I will put them all on the wall. And I'll see if I can find some more stuff out about the Emerald Scrolls for next week. That's all right, Sarah. Don't worry. We've all got stuff to do. You can watch it on repeat anyway, can't you? Or catch up or whatever.
Yeah. Because I mean, we keep them on here, don't we? So.
Yeah. So we keep on about it. So I think we should start talking about Dead Sea Scrolls and all that stuff. And what was it I was watching the other day? I was watching something the other day, and you know the amount of times we've spoken about the book of in the Bible, the one that buggered off in the UFO. Enoch, when we've spoken about that, they were talking about this and saying all these books were left out of the Bible. And they were saying about the big conclave, and it was all the major religions of the world coming forward and go, we need to this and we need to that. And it was exactly as I say, it was a book of words, like the commandments. It was a book of words and a list of words to govern man and get man to toe the line and only worship things on this earth, not from anywhere else. So, yeah. It's interesting. Apparently, there is a copy of Mary's Bible somewhere, and there is one of Enoch somewhere. But I think it's the Vatican has got that, and the Vatican has got there's another book that the Vatican has got. I think it was the Necrotelecomnicon that the Vatican's got as well. Makes you wonder why they've got all these books that talk about prehistory and UFOs and knowledge that we're not supposed to have and being some other dimension. Why they've got all this stuff and only they can handle it and only they know how to use it, when there's people out there who are a hell of a lot more intelligent than half the priests out there, and we don't fancy young boys. So why have they got all this stuff?
I think that's probably why they've locked it away in the vaults in the first place, is so that nobody can use it. I think there's stuff down there that if anybody was to use it, then it's quite possible that, they don't want anybody having power over anybody else. And if you go back through the years, the churches of the world were the ones that had the power.
Look at the Borgias.
You didn't do anything unless the church said so.
That's right. That's right.
So the church was the be-all and end-all of everything. Now you've got into a modern-day system where there are more religions than I've had at dinners. Thousands of people following one individual that thinks it's great to wear a tea cozy on their head and shout booger booger to the first thing that moves. And
So you've heard of
everybody else
Scientology
says
then?
the same thing. You know, it's the power's gone. They know the power's gone. And I think this is where the likes of so-called Project Bluebeam comes into it, is trying to get everybody back under one big hand and going, right, we want you all in this place here. And I reckon the vaults in the Vatican are where a lot of it is sitting.
I think it's like we've said before we disappear. It's got to the point now. We know what's going on. We all know the score. Everybody in the chat room, everybody who watches this on every single thing that this goes out on, we all know the score. We all know what's going on.
The main thing is, why hide the Book of Enoch? Why withhold it? And why keep it in the vaults? And the simple answer to that is because there's stuff in there, information in there, that the general population does not need to see as far as the church is concerned. Why did they withdraw the Book of Mary Magdalene? The Book of Mary.
Yeah.
They didn't want their followers to know that there could have been a bloodline.
Yeah, it's all about the Rosicrucians, wasn't it?
Yeah, so withhold it. Don't put it in the Bible. No one will know. And then along comes James I, and I don't know what. Let's change the Bible again and put this in and put that in, and the Vatican's gone. Yeah, fine, okay.
Yeah.
You don't alter something that's centuries old.
Well, there's down in the vaults are supposed to be artifacts from the precursors, artifacts from the Anunnaki and stuff like that. Yep. All this knowledge is, it's forbidden. You cannot see this because it would mean demons. Fuck off with all the demon shit. It would mean demons. I'm not doubting for 1 second that there are other dimensions, like dungeon dimensions, where you've got nasty shit in there. Not doubting that, and I think that probably that is real. There's got to be. And I'm not doubting that there's probably some dimensions where you've got really good stuff and ethereal beings and this, that, and the other. But on this earth, and we've said it so many times, with all the religious books, with all the religious texts, if you study it and study it and study it and study it, study all of them, put the timelines in the right place, it was a group of aliens that came in and scrapped because they didn't agree on us. And that's what it all came down to. The angels and the demons were actually aliens that were looking after us, made us, altered our DNA, but they were scrapping with the ones who wanted to get rid of us. And that's what
this is why I don't like the terminology angels and demons, because I look at all the books and I look at all the texts that there were from all the different ages.
Yep.
And it all relates back to the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, us. And it's not angels and demons. It's the good Anunnaki and the bad Anunnaki.
Yeah, exactly. It was one lot that went to war over us.
Exactly. There was no. There is no angels and demons. It was the same as a civil war. That's all it was, an Anunnaki civil war. Only it was the ones that wanted us to flourish, and there was the ones that wanted us to be disposed of.
Yeah.
And we've just called them the good and the bad, or angels and the demons, as the religions have decided to call them.
Because back then we were living in mud huts. We just had our DNA altered. We used to be very long-lived, and then the bad Anunnaki went, we don't like them living as long as us. Alter their DNA. Scientifically been proven. Don't say we're talking out our asses, because we're not. It's been scientifically proven. Our DNA was altered about 20,000 years ago. Or it took 20,000 years for this thing to come in. I can't remember. But it's been proven. We had our DNA altered. We used to be long-lived. Look at the Babylonian kings list. That'll give you enough proof that you need to know. Our DNA was altered. It was capped, so we can only live to a certain extent. Now these caps, as we've had generation after generation after generation, are gradually starting to crumble and come off the end of our DNA strands, and that's why we're starting to live longer and longer and longer. Oh, God, the dog just farted, and I inhaled that. I have just ate a slice of dog fart! But the Anunnaki were real. Whether it's the Anunnaki, whether we've got their name completely wrong in antiquity and it was something else, whoever they were, if we got your name wrong, sorry. But they came down, they altered our DNA, and were they the ones from Mars that came and settled here with their technology that they had then. We were living in mud huts. We saw that technology. We fought their gods. We thought the bad ones were demons, and hence it started. I'll let you out in a second, Ghost. I'm gonna have to go in a minute. She's asking for a poop. But yeah, more to this next week. So yeah, we'll talk about this next week. I've just seen the time as well. We're gonna go. It's a thank you to everybody who's watching on all the other things that this goes on out. Goes out on. Carly, hiya. Carly used to be one of our original investigative team along with Kerry Greenway. Absolutely fine, engaged, living in Yorkshire, loving it. Ghost, fart, don't love it. Yeah, we're all good here. But yes, thank you very much. I just saw a person with red hair go past you again. We're all good here. Yeah, if I keep inhaling those dog farts, I definitely won't live long, not with her ass. But yeah, we'll be back next week. We'll carry on talking about. Bugger off! We'll carry on talking about all this stuff and nonsense, and I'll see if I can find some more pre-naughties videos or UFO videos, and I'll put them up on the walls. So keep watching the walls, and remember, if you see it, let us know. Keep your eyes to the skies. Let us know. Glad you like the show, Wayne. Yes.
And please, and if you're about if you look on my timeline, I'm doing a podcast with John Paul Newlands on Friday. And seeming as Mark decided to forget again, because we need to remind people, keep your eye open on Saturday night on the Dark Mirror Radio Show's Facebook group for the live feed of our paranormal investigation.
First one for the Dark Mirror team. Wayne's coming up north, up here.
5-hour drive. I need some Red Bull.
So, and bring all your tools. Bring all your tools. And we'll set
bring
up.
All my tools.
Ellen might be taking hers. That's all I'm saying.
I've actually got, you know the old laser grid pen?
Yeah.
Right, the original laser grid pen.
Yeah.
Right, and everybody else is going out and spending £400 on this laser thing that goes out across the room. And now, do you know what I did? I went into Lidl and I spent 25 quid on a laser spirit level.
Oh, right, yeah.
Stands
it's got the grid, doesn't it?
And you get a tripod and it's a crosshair. Big crosshair like that. Goes right across. I'm like, so people have just been spending £300 and £400 on something similar to this, and I just paid £25. So I'll be bringing that up with me as well.
Yeah.
So I'll be bringing all my gear.
Right, it should be a good one. It's never been investigated this before, and the landlord and landlady of the place have been ever so nice and let us in there. So we'll do a good one.
So it's an exclusive.
Exclusive next Saturday, the early hours of the morning, midnight, GMT, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, remember, keep your eyes to the skies. Message us, text us, Facebook friend us, send us a message, get carrier pigeon and chuck it over to one of us, and we will mention you on here, and we'll try and put your videos up on the wall and everything. And we will see you next week. Thank you very much for being here tonight, Wayne and Mrs. Wayne, and to my lovely missus who brought a cup of tea in and then vanished again. I'll let you out in a second, go. She is going to poop herself. She's going to soil her pantaloons. So I'm off. Well,
stay on the stream yard. And I'll wait for you to come back in again because I need to chat.
All right. Right. See you later, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.